This is a Cincy fan talking with LP. You can catch me on Twitter. That's a Cincy fan talking. You say it like it sounds, just leave off the G. If you have ideas for the show, you can reach me at Cincy_fan talk at yahoo.com. If you have any suggestions for the show, make sure you leave them there. Who knows, you might find yourself as part of the show. Any feedback would be definitely appreciated. And also, make sure you hit the Linktree page that's on my Twitter. Make sure you click on that. You can find all the different ways to contact me there. Enjoy the show. What's up? What's up? What's going on, everybody out there in podcast land? Welcome to another episode of a Cincy fan talking with LP, and of course, this here is LP. Hope everybody is having a great week so far. Hope everything's going well for you. I'm basically posted up watching NBA playoff games. Trying to watch baseball, but it's tough if you're a Reds fan. We're gonna jump into that in a second. We also going to talk a little bit about I'm rethinking my stance on the whole participation trophy culture, that whole thing about everybody automatically gets a trophy, and that's why things are kind of messed up around here. I'm going to talk about that a little bit, and doing a lot of shows and concerts. Well, not doing, but I've been going to a lot lately. We're going to talk about our family concert history. We're going to jump into that. But got to talk about the Reds. And if you're a Cincinnati Reds fan, you're probably going like, why do you need to talk about the Reds? And really, it's about the owner, the owner's son talking reckless real talk. So the Reds, we in last place. And by last place, we basically saying we in last place out of everybody. Worst record in the league, 2-7, 2-9. It's 2 and trash either way. Actually, the first series against Atlanta, it was going all right. I mean, you're not just gonna knock out the defending champs, but we got a 4-game split, 2 apiece. So we walking up out of there, 2 wins, 2 losses, and then opening day happens. Now, if you're not from the Natty, you might not feel this as much, but if you're from around here, if you're a fan, opening day is kind of our thing. It's what we do. Everything literally stops in Cincinnati for Reds opening day. Um, parents get their kids out of school. Basically, companies shut down and say, you know what, don't even worry about coming to work today. This really happens. Big parade downtown, just huge parade. Everybody just going bananas because, the Reds opening day. And, it's a rich baseball history here. I will say that we were probably one of the last cities to be, a football town, because we've been a baseball town since forever. I mean, the first professional baseball team right here in Cincinnati. So we usually get the opening day at home every single year. I think it's only been 3 times where we haven't had opening day here in Cincinnati as the first game of the season. And the last time was this year, actually, because we had to play at Atlanta. So, everybody's juiced up about the whole thing. Everybody's like, yeah, opening day, we're 2-2. Things could actually work out. So the media asked Phil Castellini, who's the president of the Reds, asked him, how do you feel about the season? What should we expect? Stuff like that. Basically asking Phil Castellini about what would you say to fans who are frustrated with the team. It's been a rough off season, y'all. I mean, basically, the Reds did a whole fire sale. Like, as soon as the whole lockout thing ended, our best players just get shipped off to other places. So we all looking like, I mean, what's the deal? Like, do y'all care about winning? It was kind of tough. So instead of me translating what this man said at the answer to how you feel about us being frustrated, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it to you. I'm gonna read it to you. He says, his words. Well, where are you gonna go? Let's start there. I mean, sell the team to who? I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, you want to have this debate. If you want to look at what you would have done with this team to have it be more profitable, make more money, compete more in the current economic system that this game exists, it would be to pick it up and move it somewhere else. Wow. And so be careful what you ask for. Wow. And so be careful what you ask for. I think we're doing the best we can with the resources that we have. And he tried to clean it up in the second part and basically say, we're trying our best with what we have, yada yada yada. But to hear that as a fan is super insulting. And he came back and he gave an apology. He's like, we care about the fans. We're just as upset with you guys, and just keep the faith or whatever. But to hear the president of the baseball team basically say, if you don't like it, suck it up because we don't really have to be here. And plus, nobody wants the team anyway. You just listen, like, rich people really got some nerve. First off, like, even if you're thinking that, even if that's your thought and you say that with your colleagues, you don't say that out loud. Like, what are you thinking? You just pooped all over the Cincinnati Red fan base. And then when you really think about it, how are you coming at the fans crazy? Since 2006, since the Castellini family is about the team, here's what the record's been. Since 2006, the Reds have had a losing record 10 times since 2006. Had a winning record 4 times. Made the playoffs 4 times. And one of those times was, 2020, where pretty much everybody got to go. Winning record 4 times, playoffs 4 times. They've gone 0-4 in playoffs. They won 2 playoff games. 2 playoff games. No playoff series wins. And for us as Reds fans, we pretty much thought that the Reds would win a playoff series before the Bengals would win a playoff game. That was the consensus here in the Natty. We really thought that. And the Reds have done so well with PR. I mean, they were like a shining example in Cincinnati of how to treat your fan base. Even though they were going through like an endless rebuild, they treated the fans well. I mean, the Cincinnati Reds game is one of the few places you can go in Major League anything where costs are pretty much competitive. I mean, you don't have to break the bank to get hot dogs and chips and a drink. You really don't. It's a pretty cool experience. And to hear him just basically crap all over the Cincinnati fan base, I mean, it's not embarrassing for us. It's more like, what are you thinking? You have this horrible offseason where you sell all of the good players that we've had. Jesse Winker gone, Nick Castellanos gone. I mean, it's just ridiculous losing all of the players that made us somewhat competitive. And then to say something like that, for one, there are many places that would take the Reds. I mean, you have teams, and I'm not crapping on anybody's team or anybody's franchise, but I mean, the Florida Marlins would go for a lot. The Kansas City Royals would go for a lot. And these places don't have anywhere near the rich history of the Cincinnati Reds baseball team. I mean, they just don't. I mean, I could see Charlotte trying to get a team. I could see Austin trying to get a team, San Antonio. There are many places that would take the Reds. And secondly, to make it seem like, you know, be careful what you ask for because we can move, that's ridiculous. You're alienating an entire fan base by talking like this. And it's crazy that the Reds haven't won since he said this. That's kind of wild. I mean, for me, it's like we stick with our teams in Cincinnati through thick and thin. Like if you're a Cincinnati fan, you've earned the right to call yourself a fan because you witness heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And the Reds have been that team in Cincinnati who they've had some modicum of success. You know, last World Series win 1990, but they've had playoff wins after that. It's been a very long drought, but because the PR department has done so well with extending themselves and doing so much good in the community, we've kind of rocked with the Reds. We were like, they'll get there. They'll get there. Let's stick with it. Let's stick with it. And basically, he told us everything that we think that these rich folks think, but they just don't say. He basically said it's about the money. It's disheartening as a Reds fan. It's a little disheartening, and at the same time, it's like you picked the wrong time to alienate the fan base, especially with the Bengals doing as well as they are, with a Major League Soccer team here in FC Cincinnati, which is an absolutely awesome experience. And I mean, I'm not the biggest soccer fan by far, but we're definitely planning on getting down to a game. We definitely plan on getting down to a match. The Cincinnati Reds ticket scheme doesn't really fit in our plans. And it's a very affordable ticket, but it's like, if you don't care about the product you put out, why should we? And they're really sliding down the slippery slope here because you're not going to take that as a fan just to keep a team. And I think that's the part that a lot of people don't understand. As much as people like to be, affiliated with a major league franchise, if that franchise shows that they don't really care about us as fans, we're going to show you that we don't care about your franchise. And I know a lot of folks go like, well, a lot of folks that own teams, they kind of go like, well, they're going to need us. It's entertainment. Like, all of this is entertainment. And if you don't appreciate my dollar, I'll take my dollar somewhere else. Because, like they said, it is a business. It really is. They're competing for dollars with a lot of other things in Cincinnati. There are a lot of places we can go to spend our bucks. And if they don't care about us, why spend the loot there? I mean, it's common sense to the working man. I think it just gets lost in translation the higher up the food chain you go, and then they kind of convolute the message, and it's all about suddenly, well, they're gonna need us because we're the only baseball team here. Sure, you are, but you're not the only team here. So you got to show that you care about winning, or else you're going to see less and less folks in the stands, and then they're going to go ahead and threaten to move, and then they're going to notice that a lot of folks just aren't going to care because of the message that you sent us through your actions first off, and then the words. You can't treat people like that and expect to get the money just because you're the only product in town. Because you got to think about it. You're the only baseball product in town. You're the only Major League Baseball franchise in town. We have an NFL team. We have an MLS team. We have solid minor league options. And the college scene, as far as basketball and football, is absolutely crazy nowadays with the Bearcats moving to the Big 12. Xavier's always a solid program. They got a new coach in Sean Miller. I mean, you got to think about this stuff because, like I said, it's entertainment. You are a business. You can't treat the customers like that and expect them to keep coming back. I mean, I won't want to continuously get smacked in the face by people that go like, we don't care about you, but we'll take your money. Nah, I'm good. Miss me with that. Um, I don't think I touched on this in the very beginning, but I just go ahead and put it out there. My man Baker Mayfield, yikes. Like, I don't really know how to feel about him. I mean, first off, I really don't care that much, but I just think it's a real interesting. It's some interesting things going on with him. I mean, I feel like he's getting done a little bit dirty because, I mean, he's been a moderately successful quarterback for a franchise in the Browns that they haven't had success in the QB position in so long. And I think what really happened with Mayfield is he's somebody that shouldn't have been a number one pick. Maybe a first round pick, but not the number one pick in the draft. So you draft somebody number one, you expect number one outcomes. I mean, you just do because they're the first person drafted in the entire draft. You expect a little something more than moderate success, and that's fair. I feel like Mayfield's a little too sensitive. I mean, you can't be a professional athlete and worry about people booing you. That would be like me as a teacher getting upset because kids come into class and they goof around a little bit. I mean, it's middle school. They're going to goof around a little bit. It's my job to keep them focused and let them know you can play later. It's time for work right now. But there's certain things in everybody's job that they go like, oh, okay, that's unique to my job. I got to accept that. I got to accept that I have to interact with a lot of parents. Some of the parents interact more than others. I have to accept that it's going to be difficult to get so and so's people's on the phone and let them know what's going on because that's the job. You sign up for that. It's not fair. Other people don't have to go through that in their job, but it's the job. I got to suck it up and do it. You got to understand as a professional athlete that you are going to get booed. Now, fans can't take it too far. They can't step up on like the field or the court and just start yelling expletives. I mean, you're doing too much. But to get booed, that's in the program, champ. And Baker Mayfield saying stuff on another podcast about how, I wish I could go on other people's jobs and boo them and stuff like that. Getting booed is not unique to our job. I mean, it's not unique to my job. Um, Dealing with kids that act up in class and I got to deal with, that's unique to my job. And I could say something like, I wish Baker Mayfield would have to go to my job and deal with these kids. But he would go like, that's not my job. True. It's also not my job to get booed when I do something wrong a lot. But that's unique to the job of a professional athlete. That's what they have to go through. I'm not going to say that's why they get paid because, I mean, there's only a certain amount of that you can take. I mean, if it gets too personal, if you're getting booed at home and you're up by 25 points, like, whoa, that's too much. But if you are not doing the job as a professional athlete, you are going to get booed. You got to take that. I mean, that's what it is. And I feel like all of the expectations that are put on Baker Mayfield, and I feel like it's a little bit unfair because his skill set wasn't really number one material. And I feel like he's exceeded what he should have been expected to do in the pros. I mean, me personally, I think he's a pretty good quarterback. He's not a great quarterback, but I feel like he's a good enough quarterback to get you where you want to go. You got to surround him with the pieces. I feel like I'm talking about Andy Dalton, real talk. We said this about Andy Dalton so much. We said he's an above average quarterback, but he can't win the games for you by himself. He needs to be surrounded with a system of players that can get the job done, and then you'll make an above average quarterback a little bit better. But the difference here is that Andy Dalton got drafted in the second round. So second round expectations. You're like, I want this guy to be good. If he's great, that's awesome, but I need him to be good. And I can surround him with great pieces. And that's what the Bengals did for a long time. They just couldn't get over that playoff hump. It should have been the same with Baker Mayfield. The difference here is that he got drafted first overall. And it's not unfair to expect him to perform like a first overall pick. A lot of people treated him that way. And I just don't think he was ready for it. I mean, real talk. I don't think he was ready to be the number one pick. Cleveland could have did better in how they kind of showed him the ropes and got him prepared. But I mean, I feel like he can go to another place and do very well. He just got to not talk so much. I mean, I don't understand why athletes they talk so much sometimes. Like, dude, just stop talking. Like, chill out. Like, I liked when he came out one year, he was like, I'm not saying anything. I'm going to let my players do the talking. He balled out that year. I mean, you give all of these other players this bulletin board material. And like I said in another podcast, all of these athletes are literally like an inch or two away from being great or superb. They just need that extra push. You start talking big, yeah, I'm gonna do this, yeah, I'm gonna do that. You're giving them that extra push because when we talk about professional athletes, they're all great. They're doing stuff that 99.7% of the population cannot do. So you get them that extra push, and you're getting average athletes who are already great. I'm saying average in the terms of like pro football. You're giving them that extra push to be great. Just stop talking. Let your play do what it do, and talk a little after the game. If you're gonna see them again, talk half of a little bit after the game. I don't know, but I could see Baker Mayfield doing great in Seattle. They already talking about they don't want him in Carolina, so I think that'll be like a mess if he went up there. But overall, you got to expect certain things with your job. You just do. They're unique to your job, and you got to accept it if you want that job. And if you don't like it, you got to do something else because if it's unique to your job, it's not changing. Me dealing with parents is not changing as a teacher. If I want to be successful, I got to learn how to do it successfully. I mean, that's the thing. If you want to be a pro athlete, you got to deal with people do. You got to deal with people booing. You got to get through it. I would say if I'm a professional athlete, no social media. I have somebody else running my account. Forget that. Hey, you got a Cincy fan talking with LP. We'll be right back.
Hi, hi. I'm Princess and I'm Queen. This is Daddy.
You have to say, and this is a Cincy fan talking with LP.
And this is a sensitive fan talking with LP Daddy.
Nice job.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, what's up? What's up? Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to the pod. Appreciate you sticking and staying. I talked a year ago about how I felt like the whole participation trophy culture was wrecking sports and all of that. I had a little conversation about it. I'm like, everybody expects a trophy. Everybody expects to be rewarded, and they just basically show up. I think that was kind of what I said. Um, Ever since I said that, I see more and more how that might be wrong. And I've done a whole 180 on my stance. And I figure I should kind of tell y'all about it because it's a weird expectation that when somebody says something on their podcast or in the media or something like that, that it has to be how they think forever and ever. And, people bring it up on you and be like, well, I remember when you said this. If your thoughts don't change as you grow up and as you learn certain things, then you're really not growing right. You should be able to evolve and you should be able to have your stances change based on information that you receive, based on somebody telling you, something that you never thought of, or just your experiences. And the more and more I think about it, the more I'm like, the participation trophy culture is something that's kind of sort of necessary because when you think about it, everybody's a part of this participation culture. And I kind of see it like this. When I'm working with the kids, when I'm teaching the kids in class, or when I'm coaching them or whatever, I have to let them know that they're at least on the road to success. I can't just withhold all praise until they meet the goal. You have to reward effort. Like there's something to being the kid that comes to school every single day. Like there's something in that. Even if that kid is a C student, there's something to be said about a kid that wakes up every morning and goes like, I'm going to school. And a lot of people will be like, well, you're supposed to go to school. I mean, that's nothing. But do you really have to go to school every day? Like, I know a few people that went to school every single day. My stepkid being one of them. Like, she showed up to school every single day. I think from like fourth grade to 12th grade, which is crazy. I remember her. dragging herself out to school, throwing up one day. It was wild. Like she still went to school though. But it's something to be said about effort and giving it your best shot, even if that best shot falls off. So I think the participation thing, I think is worthy. I feel like everybody should get a trophy for participating and finishing everything out in full. I think it's a necessary thing. Um, Growing up, I played baseball. My uncle was basically like, "Look, you're playing baseball on this team, and what's the word? Trash. I was trash. I'm like 9, 10 years old, and I was really not good at the sport. Um, I was a short little guy. Like I'm not super tall now, but I was way short when I was 9 years old. I mean, the bat was heavy. I couldn't get it around all the way to hit the ball at first. And this was like at the very beginning of the season, like during tryouts. And my uncle made it clear once I made the team. He's like, "You made the team because you're my uncle, because I'm your uncle." I'm like, "Wow, thanks for the support there, Unc. Appreciate you." And he was also like, "You're very fast. You're very fast on the base pass. So I feel like you can get better. You just got to work at it." And that's what he said. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give it a shot. Mom's making me do it. Unc has basically put me on the team. And I'm like, I don't want to be here just because he put me on. So I'm like, I'm going to actually work at it. So I worked at hitting the ball. I worked on catching the ball. And I got better. I got really, really good to the point where I was batting first in the lineup every time we had a game. I'm like, I get the bat lead off. He's like, yeah, you up there now. You can get on base. You always find ways to get on base. He's like, I don't know how you did it. I'm like, you helped. What are you talking about? So at the end of the season, I got the most improved player award. And I was super proud of it. And some people could have been like, well, I mean, you just got most improved. What is that? I'm like, it shows me that if I try something and I keep working at it, I can do it and I can do it well. And I feel like that's what a that's what a participation trophy is. It's basically a way of saying we appreciate the effort that you put in. And if everybody puts in the effort, everybody should get one. Now, I'm not like, hey, you showed up for one game, you did half the season, you should get a trophy. But if you stick it out for the entire season, even if you're the last person on the bench, somebody should give you something and say, hey, you made it through the season. Because, I mean, you got to face it. Everybody is not going to be the best player on the team. You have to have the people at the end of the bench to make everybody else better. Everybody's not going to get that most valuable player. It doesn't work that way. But if all of these people show up and put in the effort and do their absolute best, if you don't get rewarded for that, what's the point of you still trying? And I think that's the point that I missed when I was talking about this at first. I was like, you know, effort is expected. You have to put it forth. But I don't know if effort is really expected. You can't really expect somebody to put in effort just because they showed up. Them showing up shows you that they're at least receptive. And then it's on us to kind of push them a little bit further. But if they don't even show up, how can you do that? So I'm kind of all in on the whole giving people trophies for finishing and stuff like that now. Um, for me, I think it was something that I related to coaching and not really to everything else because as a coach, I'm like, hey, get through the whole season, trophy. That's how it is. But now I'm starting to realize that applies to everything. Showing up is a big part of the deal. Like saying I want to try is a huge part of the deal because you and I know a whole lot of people who won't even try. Or they're basically like, I showed up twice, I got nothing, so I'm not coming back. E- to me, effort is everything. Like it really is. Because even the people that make it look easy, I guarantee you, they put in a lot of work to make it look super easy. I've had people come in my classroom and go like, "Man, you're doing a really great job. You make this look." I'm like, "Don't even say it. Because if you say it looks easy, you should have seen me my first year teaching. It wasn't easy. Like it was disgustingly difficult, and I almost didn't come back some days. I mean, it's like I always say, it's beauty in the struggle, and you got to reward that. You really do. So that's my stance on that. Before I roll out, it's almost what we call it, concert season for the fam, for my wife and I. We already did the new edition in Jodeci concert. That was awesome. We actually got Chris Rock tickets on our anniversary, June 10th. So that should be super cool. And we're almost to the Janet Jackson tickets. We're kind of like, we just want to find the right seats, but we kind of got to narrow down to like two or three seats, and we want those. So it's looking like a great summer of concerts and stand up comedy shows. And I thought I told this story before. I looked through my whole list, like all of my little catalog of shows or whatever, and I didn't see it. I remember telling the main man Jim from the Friday night music party. He run that. Always a good time. Nice way to kick out the weekend. Nice people to talk to. Real cool tune. So definitely check Jim out on that. I remember telling him this during one of those parties, but I don't think I shared it with y'all. So when we talk concerts, I've literally had one of the best concert experiences and one of the worst concert experiences in the same concert. It was super wild. This was actually don't laugh. This was an R. Kelly concert, and we had already had the tickets. The wife, she was like a hardcore, super duper R. Kelly fan. Um, that ended quickly, but we had the tickets, and there was a lot of other people at the show. There was Morris Day in the time, which was awesome. Kim, and I think Leela Davis and Leela Jones, my fault, and actually Fantasia, she was there as well. She had one of the best performances I've seen from anybody. I mean, she kicked off her shoes during like the first 5 seconds. So we was like, yeah, this is about to be amazing. It was like an amazing performance. I don't think anybody sat down during that entire half hour to 40 minutes. Like, she had the place rocking down at Paul Brown Stadium. Excellent, excellent energy. So R. Kelly's like the closer. I already got my P on you jokes ready for action. I'm like, this is about to be hilarious. And I think it was midnight when he was supposed to come out. And it's midnight and he's not out. And the wife was looking like, I want to leave anyway. So I'm like, you want to leave? She's like, we should leave. Then we're like, nah, we don't want to waste the dough. So 20 minutes later, he's not out. 30 minutes later, he's not out. I'm not joking. This actually happened. 45 minutes later, he's still not out. And by now the crowd is upset. And the folks that run the show, they're trying to make us happy. They're talking about having a dance contest on the stage. They're getting booed for that. They start showing clips of last night's concert, like the night before. They start showing that on the big screen, and we're like, boo. A chant broke out, bring your ass out. You could just hear, bring your ass out, bring your ass out. I'm like, this is amazing. Like, this is hilarious. I'm heated and laughing at the same time. Fights were breaking out up in the bleacher seats. You could see people scrapping. I'm like, this is this is nuts. He comes out like an hour later. He does three songs, and then says that he's upset that his fans can't get closer to him, and then he walks off the stage. And we looking like, is this a joke? Is this a game? Like, is this man serious? Did he really just leave the show? And there was no announcement. We're just looking like, wow. The wife and I, we're tapping each other like, let's go ahead and roll out. But every time we got up to leave, people started yelling and screaming like it's about to come back out. And we're like, we're already invested in this trash. Why not? So About 10 to 15 minutes after that, he finally comes back out on stage and does the rest of his show. The wife is sitting there heated, like, I actually used to be a fan of this guy. Like, I'm super, I'm super heated right now. I'm like, look, I just want to be traffic. Like, I was on some real old man stuff at that point. I'm like, I just want to be traffic, man. I just want to, just don't want to deal with all these people trying to get out. So he finally finishes up, and I'm like, this crowd is pissed off. Like I said that out loud. I'm like, this crowd is pissed off, and I didn't realize what I was saying, and I just heard like laughter everywhere, and I'm like, oh, because I said pissed off. I'm like, I get it because of the P. And I'm like, e- every time we go to a concert, we think in the back of our heads, we hope it's not a concert like that. But then again, it was a really good concert until that moment. I don't know. It was just crazy. That's what we're hoping doesn't happen ever again. I mean, yikes! It was just a crazy event, and we got home at like 2:30 in the morning, and social media is blowing up. Like, I'm like, y'all don't want to see this trash for real. Like, it was nuts. Hey, avoid concerts like that. I'm about to go ahead and roll out. Y'all know the deal. Y'all know where we at every Tuesday. So make sure y'all subscribe. Make sure y'all click and get those notifications up so you know when your boy hits. But until then, you got your boy LP. I'm out. And as always, life is good, y'all. Peace out. If you're not ready for the conversation to end, I'm not either. Make sure to catch me on Twitter. That's the Cincy fan talking. Leave off the G at the end of it, and we can keep the conversation going. Also, don't be afraid to hit that subscribe button so you can catch the next episodes. The episodes will drop every Tuesday. If there's a change in that, I'll make sure to let you know. Appreciate the support. As always, life is good.